The thing with the True Story of Asmongold Cataclysm, see, what you guys need to understand about this is that a lot of people are not going to like the True Story of Asmongold Cataclysm. You're not. Because if you thought that I was kind of an asshole, the True Story of Asmongold Cataclysm is not me being an asshole. It is the villain arc. Like, it is the 100%, like, let me just give you a couple of examples, okay? These are just, like, maybe a few things that I did back in Cataclysm. So, I used to queue up with 3 people, and the 4th person being the buyer for the bear mount in ZA. And we would clear the entire thing with the 5th person helping us that we random queued into, and then the 4 of us would vote kick that person out of the group and remove them while the person, the mage was going around breaking the pots for the bear mount to spawn. So we would vote kick them out in the middle of the run. We would make them do the entire thing and then kick them out so we could save money and we wouldn't have to split the money that they paid us the amount of time. Why? So we get more money. Because, like, so this guy would pay us, like, let's say he paid us 6,000 gold. Okay, well, that's 2,000 gold for each of us, right? But if we cut in somebody else, oh, now we're talking 1.5. You do 4 of those runs, and now it's like you only did 3. You see what I'm saying? So that's the problem. And so you do 5 of those runs like you only did 4. That would be the math. And so that's what we did, number 1. Number 2, this is whenever me and Jeff were at the peak of our careers, right? We were at, you know, Jeff was like, you know, I had graduated high school. Jeff was probably not supposed to graduate high school, but he was just graduating high school. And we were just working all day, doing nothing, playing WoW. And Jeff would, he made his own guild, and then he ninja'd everything out of the guild bank after he told everybody to put all the money into it. Then I invited him into my guild, and he put half of the stuff into our guild bank, and Jeff completely avoided all responsibility from this problem entirely. Then also, let's see, we would do you guys remember, did you guys ever farm the Bloodthirsty title? You would farm the Bloodthirsty title, and it would be, you know, like, you like farm people in, like, Alterac Valley or, like, Isle of Conquest, right? Well, there were these, like, random pre-made groups. Everybody would use this add-on. It was, like, AV pre-made. And so there was this one person that we did these pre-mades with, and it was, like, this lady, and, like, she was so obnoxious and rude, and, like, she would never type anything that was spelled correctly. Never. And so, finally, me and my friends, we got tired of her. So what we did is every single time we would join the group, and then we would report her AFK at the beginning of the match, so her character couldn't get in combat fast enough for her character to actually remove the AFK tag, and it would give her dessert. But she didn't know who it was because it doesn't tell you who reported you. So we just kept doing this over and over and over, and she quit doing them. Yeah, she actually quit doing the entire thing. But I mean, like, she was rude, right? So it's, you know, I don't really feel like that was a bad thing. And I want to say before, another one more, is that there was this girl in my guild. This was in Heroic Ragnaros. So I basically, so this is how I became an officer in my guild, is that there was a faction of the people in the guild that wanted to leave the guild, and there was another faction of people in the guild that wanted to make the guild stronger and stay in the guild. So I was part of both groups, and I was playing the groups against each other, so they would kind of, I knew what was happening in both of them, and then finally I came to, I came to the agreement with them that we would have a big meeting, and we had the big meeting, and guess what came out of the big meeting? I'm an officer now. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy how that happens? And like, oh, by the way, also all of my friends were officers too. So as soon as this happened, there was this one girl who did 22k DPS on Heroic Rag. I remember this shit so fucking well. And she got mad because I wouldn't let her, I told her that she shouldn't get the legendary, and she was like getting greedy in like a 10-man group, like telling me that like we should, like she wanted to, like we had an order of like who was gonna get the legendary staff in Firelands, and she wasn't in the order because she was fucking dog shit. So anyway, so she disagreed with this, and she wanted to give herself the staff. So I found out that she did a run, and she cucked my friend out of the staff fragments. So I went and I made her her guild note for everybody in the guild to see, doesn't deserve a legendary. doesn't deserve a legendary. 22k was good in Firelands? What the fuck? No, not good in Firelands. Good in Heroic Ragnaros as a Moonkin. Okay, it was garbage. And so then she quit the guild. Thank God. That's why Asmon's no longer officer? No, something even worse happened. I had to become guildmaster. It was the worst ever. Like, I was so upset about this. I remember, like, the guild master quit because, like, now, like, the thing is, like, I could always operate in the shadows. I could always, you know, be a little bit of a scumbag, right? But then I had to be the guild master, and I can't do this anymore. I've got to be I've got to be a responsible person. I've got to, you know, like, work for the guild. I've got to be accountable now. It was terrible. It was Overdose? No, it was Indestructible. It's my current guild. That's why I'm still GM. Yeah, that's why I'm still fucking GM. And holy crap, you were a piece of shit back then? No, you don't understand. These were only the stories that I remember off the top of my head. Okay? These are only the ones that I remember off the top of my head, and these are the ones that I can think of, like, right back then. About you outbid your guildmaster on the sale, and that was actually in Mists of Pandaria. But, yeah, that was a good time. There was Nerf ASAP's guild still, sir? Well, Nerf ASAP, he gave me GM halfway through Nighthold progression. Because I remember this night so fucking clearly, or this actually, it was the evening, so fucking clearly, because I woke up at, like, 6 p.m., and I'm like, oh man, I didn't get enough sleep. I think I'm gonna sleep in for the raid. I'm gonna just text them and just see what they say. I'm gonna tell them I'm not gonna make it to the raid, man. And then I read the fucking messages that we had in the officer chat, the Skype conversation. And Nerf, who was the guild master, said he was quitting the game. And he had made me the guild master. And I remember I was like, because I had the best job in the world. Like, I had all of the power and no responsibility. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't really show up to raids unless there was loot I wanted. I got to make decisions on who got all the loot. And then now I got the torch passed to me, which, by the way, we killed Gul'dan on Mythic. It was a pretty good fucking ranking for the guild, right? I held that shit together. And then I gave it to Dragon, and then Dragon held the shit together, admittedly, better than I did. So, that's what happened. Now, that's the way it goes. But, oh yeah, it was a great fucking time. I had a lot of fun doing that stuff, but, man, I remember that day. I was so stressed out that day. That was actually, Cody was in the guild back then before he went to prison. That was so fucking long ago, man. Yeah, Dragon's a god, he is. Absolutely, no wonder you lost your hair. Yeah, exactly. It was a great fucking time, man. It really was. Like, I had so much fun. Like, all the people in my guild, like, I hated, like, probably 10% of the people in the guild, but that's okay. I like playing WoW, and I think that if more people would want to watch WoW, I would do WoW more often. I think that's all it comes down to, is that I think that right now, a lot of people, like, people went through kind of this is, I think, like, the emotional, like, stages of WoW. I think this is the way that a lot of players went through it. Is that they first started out, and they were very angry about it, and they were frustrated, and they were mad that the game isn't what it was. And they've gone around, they've played other games, and maybe they like those games more than WoW. But it probably gave a lot of them, and this is what I've heard from a lot of people, is that it gave a lot of them, like, perspective, and they're like, actually, some of them came back to WoW, and it's like, it's not really that bad, or it is that bad, but I still like the game, and I'm going to play it anyway. So I think that's the way a lot of people probably feel about it, is that they don't really hate the game, they don't really dislike the game, there are some things they don't like about it, and I think that in the past year or so, I think one thing that a lot of people have learned is to be able to play the game in moderation and not expect the game to solve every problem in your life. And I think that's what the best thing about, you know, what's happened is that. It's like, yeah, it's given people the ability to move past that and just enjoy themselves, right? And I think that's a good thing. It really is. I don't know, complete apathy from my part? Well, I think a certain amount of apathy is healthy because, like, it's only a video game and you're not really stressed out. Like, if you're stressing out and mad constantly about what's happening in a video game, I can't really see this as a positive way to live your life. Like, I just can't. I don't think this is good for you. I don't think this is a good way to think. This is a good way to live. You know, it's just move past that and just try to enjoy things for what they are. And I used to spend a lot of time being very upset and angry about the game, and I think that it feels good to get mad at stuff like that sometimes, right? It definitely does. But, you know, a lot of the other stuff is just too much, man. It's too fucking much. Mythic Plus is fucked now since top guilds keep selling 20 keys, making my achievement of doing it myself just useless. Well, here's the thing. I actually think that buying and selling carries was totally fine before they added the WoW token. I do. Because I actually really like the RP of a greedy, fat, out-of-shape goblin being literally carried around by a bunch of strong adventurers through a raid while he claims all of the loot for himself. I think that is the best RP you can possibly have. Yeah, it's Bobby, right? Exactly, or me. And so I think this is amazing. Right, this is so funny, and I used to sell carries all the time. And to be fair, if I wasn't streaming right now, I would be selling carries constantly. Like, I would be doing this all the fucking time. Like, I was the master at selling carries, man. Like, I sold carries, you have to understand this. Out of everybody on Kel'Thuzad, I probably sold like 70 or 80% of the carries. If you were on Kel'Thuzad in Cataclysm, the odds are that most of the people that you saw on a bear mount were mine. Those were my bear mounts that I gave them. It had the Asmongold stamp of fucking approval. And I did these constantly, man. You mean buy carries? No, I was actually very good back then. You know, I was top 10 in the entire world for achievement points back then? I had every single fucking one minus like 3. It was insane. And like, I even have the screenshots. Oh my god, yeah, McConnell. We're not even an hour into the stream and I'm already talking about how good I used to be at video games, right? Like, that's it. What about now? Now I don't think I'm even top 10 on my server. I'm gonna be honest with you. Back whenever you were big dick, I was unemployed. I didn't do anything except for play video games, and it was one of the greatest times in my life. I was so happy. There was never a sense of like, oh, when is this going to end? It's never gonna end. It's always been like this. We play video games, everybody brings their computer on Friday, and we just game constantly, and we eat chicken tenders, and mom makes us cupcakes. You know, that's all there was to it. You're still unemployed? Yes, true, but I do get paid now, which is a little bit different.